Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be diving into a special build for one of my amazing customers. She ordered a custom Steam Deck OLED with the chameleon green purple shell, glow in the dark buttons, and 2 micro SD cards, one loaded with retro games and the other one with Windows, so she can access games with anti-cheat that Linux just doesn't always provide yet. Now I do want to go ahead and point out that this shell is designed for the Steam Deck LCD model. The internals of the OLED model just do not drop in, so I'm gonna have to modify the shell to go ahead and fit those components. Now, I'm doing that off screen, but it did happen. Now here's when things get a bit tricky. The shell is designed for the LCD Steam Deck, but the customer requested it for the OLED model. The OLED model has slightly different screen alignments, extra ribbon cables, and subtle changes in speaker design. Things are different inside. So we're gonna have to carefully modify the shell, trimming the housing and making sure everything fits snugly without damaging the components. Now the shell, I did most of it off screen to go ahead and prepare to go ahead and just drop everything in, but I used a Dremel to carefully trim around the cutouts. And yeah, I didn't, but make sure to wear safety glasses if you ever use a Dremel on anything, because that stuff can fly in your eyes. Next, let's swap the standard buttons with glow-in-the-dark buttons. These look awesome under low light and give a unique personality. Now, you do have to make sure they are outside for at least 20 minutes. That's how you get them activated. Once they're outside for about 20 minutes, when you bring them back inside and you cut off all the lights, they will glow in the dark. I do have a little bit of footage showing the glow in the dark buttons as well as pictures. Now throughout this process, it is sped up for you guys, but it did take me a couple of hours to go ahead and make sure everything fit kind of nice and snug here, and make sure nothing is sharp cutting any type of ribbon cables or any cables in general, to make sure everything is properly working when it needs to. Now as far as the SD cards, the 256 card, I went ahead and preloaded it with a bunch of retro games from, NES, SNES, Sega, PlayStation, some Switch games as well. There are many other consoles on here that I won't name. I'm pretty sure she's watching this video, and I hope she definitely appreciates it. Now the second card, of course, we installing Windows on it, so they required me to go ahead and install Windows onto the SD card, boot into it, and start installing drivers to make sure things like sound, the SD card reader, which won't be required because Windows is on the SD card, but things like Wi-Fi, sound, Bluetooth, and making sure the graphics run correctly when she actually is playing a game. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is a 1 terabyte model, so that means that she has a terabyte of space for SteamOS. She has 256 gigs with 70% of that storage filled with games, and the other 30% for maybe games that she may want to include individually or even for saved data. You gotta leave some room on it. For the moment of truth, powering on the OLED, everything looks amazing. The glow-in-the-dark buttons are even better in person. Booting up into Battle Sarah for her retro games, everything seems to be working smooth as butter. And switching over to Windows to show off that setup too. It's kind of basic because I didn't customize it or anything. I'm gonna leave that up to her. But everything seems to be working. Triple boot works except for the Windows installation one. I will include instructions on how to get into Windows if she wants to, but for some reason I believe that Refine, which is what I'm using to triple boot it, has a glitch when it comes to Windows on the SD card. Now if it was on the SSD, which is kind of like the hard drive, then it probably would have detected the installation faster or even detected it at all. But for some reason the Windows on SD, it has the option, but there's some sort of glitch that I believe they are working on it. So as soon as I have that fixed, I will also email her with instructions or if she wants to send it back, we can go ahead and go down that route as well. Now this was a fun build. Thanks so much for our awesome customer here for trusting us to make her dream Steam Deck come true. I also included her old buttons because, you know, some people change their mind. They might want to go back to the original buttons, or in her case, she has two different buttons to go back to: the original black buttons, or she can go to her chameleon purple green buttons and just make everything all one two-tone color. So I included all of that. But then the packaging, if you want your own custom build, check out yellaplayz.store. We do all kinds of mods, from shells to buttons and even triple boot setups. Until then, game on.